Hello, and welcome to Final Show Films. I'm John, the executive producer here, and I've got a few pre-show notes for you. First, a reminder. All of the content we produce is available on our website at finalshowfilms.com, as well as youtube.com/senstaku, senstaku.podbean.com, twitch.tv/senstaku, and on iTunes. We are only able to do the things we do thanks to the kind support of our Patreon donors. We give a special shout out to our $25 tier supporters, Antitonic and Cat Waterflame. If you'd like to support us that way, be sure to check it out. Secondly, a thank you to the folks over at 411mania.com. They produce articles and content related to wrestling, MMA, movies, music, and gaming. Go check them out. We appreciate their support as well. And lastly, be sure to subscribe, comment, and rate, if possible, wherever you listen to or watch our content. It helps us know what you like, what you don't like, and helps us make more content. Feedback is always appreciated. With all that being said, sit back, relax, and enjoy. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Shadows of the Valley, Episode 8. I'm John, the storyteller for the evening, and with me today is Jeremy.
Hi, I am Jeremy. I am playing Hisoka, the Dragon Clan investigator, rich boy.
And Jack.
Hey everybody, I'm Jack. I'm playing Hayato, the Shisoro Clan infiltrator / ninja.
And Mara.
Hi, I'm Mara. I'm playing Irie, Crane Clan duelist.
And
Sorry,
Aaron.
butcher that pronunciation.
Hi, I'm Aaron, and I am playing Yasei Hinata, the Lion Clan Shugenja.
And William.
Hi, I'm William, and I'm playing Renakane, the Crab Clan Berserker / done with your shit.
And whose camera has moved, so I've got to readjust your thing. All right. So, when last we left our samurai, they were underwater. Having just met and passed a Nurakabe, they found the red kappa that had stolen one of the blades they were looking for. Upon challenging the kappa to a duel, and realizing that kappa don't know how to duel, they murdered the fuck out of it, took its sword, and the money that was in its treasure hoard. Having recovered the final and 7th blade of the Masamune blade set that was lost at sea previously, the three Airi, Hayato, and Akane that are underwater, that are underground in this series of underwater tunnel areas, have started to make their way back. Oh, and Arashi is also down there with you. Meanwhile, up on the ship, Hisoka and Hinata. The two of you have been, in addition to waiting for your allies to return and going over the weapons that you have on you now, you have been watching the sailors on your ship, bringing up a continual stream of salvage from the ships from the sunken ship below. Variety of boxes and the occasional dead fish for food are being hauled up as you watch. Is there anything the two of you are doing while you wait?
Hina,
Go
ahead. No, go ahead.
Hinata's mostly staring over the ocean, not necessarily down where people are, but just out further.
I feel like at the moment, probably not. Yeah, there's not a lot. Hisoka's probably sort of pacing back and forth, waiting for everybody to get up.
You
a little more nervous than he probably lets on.
You would notice your fiancé staring off at the horizon.
Yes.
Whether or not that would prompt you to do anything.
I think the question is, how much of a 17-year-old single male are you?
Right.
Not technically single.
He's single.
Yeah. Let's be honest here.
He's single. I'm just stuck here until he's a dead single male.
Or for another year.
Whichever happens first.
No. He's actually going to. He is fairly oblivious of that situation at the moment, unfortunately.
Okay.
He's more focused on mission and trying to imagine how he will explain it if 3 of the people that came with him are now drowned. Yeah.
All right. So, back under the water, in the surprisingly air-filled caverns, filled currently with the stench of dead kappa, the 3 of you, or the 4 of you, stand, blade in hands. Are you turning to go back now, or are you wanting to rummage more through the kappa's treasure hoard? Also, Irie is hurt.
Yeah.
We've gathered a bunch of currency and the weapons. The rest of it just seems to mostly be junk, correct?
Mostly. You can give me an investigation check if you'd like to look through it further.
Just faintly pour over it, which is going to be about the equivalent of an untrained check. So, 22 actually.
Are either of the other 2 of you looking into it?
I technically had made my investigation roll last game, so I assume
You
that
had.
I've sort of done my thing.
You found the Kusarigama.
Right.
Akane, you don't find anything that doesn't immediately scream out as like valuable. You do, however, find. Actually, no. You do find some shards of jade.
Yes, those are valuable.
Yeah, nothing like gold or silver or Moroku, but you do find some shards of jade.
Yes, I will take that jade.
They're unrefined, and they wouldn't likely work like the finger of jade that you have. But they're just like
refined.
sort of they're like raw jade.
Definitely take that.
Mm-hmm.
An unrefined jade can be used either by us or by Shugenja.
Yep.
Who...
Yeah, there are uses for unrefined jade, just not the same uses. So yeah, you find some shards of jade in the treasure pile.
Hayato is going to. Can he attempt an untrained medicine roll?
You certainly can.
He's
can
gonna
do a trained medicine roll on myself.
Oh, okay.
You can try.
You can both
Don't
attempt
kill me.
medicine rolls.
Yeah,
All right.
do it. Where's that?
Oh, I thought there was rules like only 1 medicine roll per day or something.
Yeah.
Oh, and I don't have a medicine kit, so I can't.
19. I don't have a medicine kit either. I
Yeah,
have nothing.
you can make to heal wounds only 1 medicine roll per day. Well, you need a medicine kit for that. To make an untrained medicine roll, you can just make the roll.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
To
Yeah,
look
I'm
at
injured.
someone and determine how wounded they are is also medicine, but usually does not require a medical kit.
Okay. Yeah,
I've
I'll make a diagnostic
realized-
roll.
Yeah, I've realized that we have to go up through sharks again, and I don't feel good.
Well,
I
so
want to make sure I'm not bleeding.
so you both look over. I mean, it's really easy to see the wound because I'm much like the rest of you. Irie is wearing nothing but a fundoshi. So there is just a scorched, so it's not bleeding anymore. Scar going from the shoulder down middle of the chest and down to the left hip. There doesn't seem to have been any. I'm trying to think of the more delicate way to say this.
Disfigurement?
Yes, there's been no permanent disfigurement to the area that the scar is going through.
Oh, good.
So it's mostly across the sternum.
Yeah, it's just like sort of across the chest, not the memories.
I love that you're deeply uncomfortable with this as the like.
Well, it's not so much deeply
gender.
It's not so much deeply uncomfortable with it as it is. How do you say her boobs are fine in a medical term? But
There's been no cosmetic damage to the physiological structures on the torso.
there you go. It's gone sort of cleanly through, and yeah, it's sort of burnt over, so it's not bleeding. It's been seared.
Okay. Okay, we found what we came for.
Are you capable of making your way back to the ship in this condition? Will you require assistance?
Salt water's going to burn that wound to hell.
It's gonna hurt, but I should be fine. Or at least okay to get back. It's not bleeding, so there should...
You all three of you sort of hear metal on stone sounds. Look over and see Arashi has his Bicento, and it is sort of stabbing into the ground.
What are you doing?
Spotted something, Arashi?
Arashi-sama, what have you found?
He sort of smashes, and you hear this thunderous boom every time the Bicento hits the ground, and see sort of dirt and gravel flying away. And after a few moments, he stops, looks over at Irie, and just sort of motions for her to walk over.
Okay. I walk over.
He puts the Bicento sort of against the wall, leans down, and scoops out. It looks like he's basically pounded the ground so hard he liquefied some of the dirt.
Okay.
And just sort of slathers a mud coat over your wound. It stings a bit.
Okay.
He sort of like covers it. This will keep the salt out of it.
Thank you. It's gonna have to
Smack the ground into mud and then use the mud to seal the wound.
When you have a magical Bicento that does lightning and thunder damage to the ground, it's easier.
Transmute rock to mud.
All right.
Just don't let that get rubbed off.
Okay. Good to know.
Let's get out of here so we can find an actual healer.
Mm-hmm.
I believe I know where we might be able to find one of those.
So do I.
So, you all.
Two, technically. Captain's also a healer.
Captain is also a healer. You begin to make your way back. Give me survival checks. I think is the
What now?
I think is the skill.
Hunting?
Hunting,
it's-
I think, is the merchant skill. Is the survival skill.
Yeah, hunting would be the.
And
18.
13.
minus or plus 7 right now.
Yeah, the TN is +7.
Yep, for me.
My TN is currently +3.
Okay.
So I'm nicked.
My TN
Where's
is
survival.
normal.
Hunting.
It's hunting.
Oh, thank you. 15.
Hey. So the three you fortunately made chalk markings, or you made some like scar markings in order to keep your path. So you're able to find your way back to that easily enough. You do not encounter another Nurikabe. And eventually make your way back to the watery entrance that you entered from. Assuming that you all continue on, you dive into the water.
Yes.
Finding yourself once more in the cool of the water. You figure that there must have been some sort of volcanic vent in those tunnels to keep it so warm. But once you're back in the water, a lot of that heat obviously disperses, and you're once again in the chilly, quite chilly ocean waters. Ivory, you're a little sore from the wound, and the muscles that you have to use to swim are the muscles that are affected by the wound on your chest.
Yep.
But you're not. It's not burning, writhing in agony thanks to the mud that has been applied to the wound.
Yay.
Or a little salt on that wound, yeah?
I'm going to give me athletics checks, all of you. See how quickly you get back.
22.
23.
17.
So y'all return back to where the ship had sunk into the mud. And Akane, between you and Arashi, you sort of brace your shoulders against it and push it out of the way, so that the other two can get out, and the two of you follow. And after a few minutes, so Hinata and Hisoka, it's been about 2 hours since they left. The three of them reappear in the waters below. Or the four of them.
Oh,
reappear in the
sorry. I
waters
was
below.
trying to find something in rulebook.
There's an audible exhalation.
We have returned with the blade.
You notice,
Excellent.
as they begin to climb up, you notice Ivory has a big muddy line from shoulder down to hip.
As we established, I'm fairly strong, so I'll just heave Irie up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Arashi is pushing them up as well, so it's easy enough to get everybody up on the ship.
Yeah, I'm pretty strong too, so I'll help get him up.
And then
Akane is currently holding the sword, I believe.
And
should
I
pick
thought
it up off
I
his
have to.
corpse.
Oh yeah, no, you did pick it up. Yep.
just sort of, without even pulling out the scroll, just sort of mutter something under her breath and heal. Where are the heals button? That's the button for extra defense. There. 28 healing.
I'm unhurt. Totally fine.
I'll look
Ah,
over the other
thank
two.
you.
Akane is still injured slightly.
Akane, it looks like she's taken about as much damage as Irie has, but doesn't seem to be feeling it as much as Irie is.
Well, you're still taking the healing. So there you go. You're
So,
also presumably unhurt now. That was 33 healing.
Wounds are healed. Scars remain, but the wounds are healed.
Because I had 26 damage, which is presumably around the same that Irie had, but I was only nicked.
24.
Yeah. Barely looking away from the ocean, just restore.
And these burnt wound areas on your bodies are restored. Hisoka, you do notice that the wounds that they had once the mud has been moved away were burn wounds, not like in the shape of slicing wounds, but burnt, not bleeding.
Interesting.
Are we really doing this again?
I believe that was
Very
William. That was what was William to his internet.
Yeah, that was to my
Yes.
internet.
Yeah.
Not William to Jeremy.
I was like,
No, that was
I'm sorry.
it had a brief hiccup, but I'm hoping that's all it's going to do.
is everybody all right?
Now, yeah.
Yeah, we're fine.
Good.
Quite unhurt.
Arashi just sort of stretches out his shoulders. I'm fine.
And we've got a new toy to play with. She says that she pulls the sword up and then just pulls it out of the sheath.
This sword, so all of the Masamune blades have been sort of pristinely polished, untouched by weather or wear blades. This one is much the same, except the blade is red instead of steel. And as soon as it comes out of the scabbard, it pulses with heat. It's almost as if standing next to a lit torch.
There we go. Okay, internet's back. Yeah.
as Akane holds this blade out.
Very interesting. Is that what did?
It is.
Yes. It's very hot.
Understatement of the year, Arashi says.
Akane resheaths it.
Well, if we have everything that we came for,
I believe so.
wonderful. Let's.
Well, I'd assume once the
Get some
captain's
rest.
group's done.
Yeah.
What is our timetable like at the moment?
That is a really good question.
It has been about a week since you left the port.
I thought you said it was 3 days out, but
Well, yeah, but it's been 2 days since you got here.
oh, right.
not a full 7-day week, but
Took
almost.
3 days to get here, then another 2 days. So
Okay.
It's been half a work week. The stupidest thing in Dungeons and Dragons.
so yeah, it's been about 5 days since you left the port.
All right. And we had 3 weeks.
Effectively, yeah.
Well, I think the
Well-
longest leg of our journey is now done. We can make our way back and work on our other odds and opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
We need to find out where that whatever it's called. I don't have it in my notes because I was not here for that. That guy.
You're
Akushin.
talking about Akushin.
Yes.
Akujin.
Where Akujin has gone.
I mean, that would be good.
And hopefully recruit some more people to our cause.
Did we intend to pursue the legends of the Tortoise Clan? Or have what we acquired here, will that serve?
Remind me.
The Tortoise Clan have the Lion Blade.
Yeah, the Akodo blade.
That's right.
The Akodo blade of the Lion Clan is theorized to be lost in the battlefield that the Tortoise Clan now have their castle to the east of the valley, or to the west of the valley.
I guess the question then would be, what's going to be more valuable to us? Less people, but more empowered weapons, or more people?
At this time?
We got 7 magic swords and one magic halberd, as I pointing at Arashi.
Arashi, who is putting back on his armor.
Hayato smirks and says nothing.
I didn't hear any of what happened after I said that because my internet hiccup.
Arashi is putting back on his armor.
And Hayato's standing off to the side grinning.
No, she's not going to say anything.
I mean, we could at least go to Tortoise Clan, see if we can get allies out of them.
Make me a Hisoka. Make me a etiquette roll. Yeah, etiquette roll.
Can
Okay.
I make that as well?
Sure.
Does courtesy come into it or no?
Yeah.
No, not in this particular
Okay.
case.
25.
26.
Okay. So the Tortoise clan is unique in that it is nearly an imperial family. It's distinctly separate from the rest of the imperial families, but it is. But the family has performed several crucial feats for the emperor, and basically are the emperor's loyal servants.
Mm-hmm.
They. It is rumored. And Hayato, this part you know. It is rumored that the Tortoise clan serve as sort of the underhanded, under the table connection between the Emperor and the underworld of Rokugan.
Now, we're not talking like they're the Imperial ninjas. They're more like the Imperial, like, criminals?
They're like the Imperial mob, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
So, hey, Hisoka, you know that they are very nearly an Imperial family. They're one of the few minor clans that have like, you know, best buddies ties with the Imperial family. Hayato, you know that the Kasuga family are smugglers, basically.
Mm-hmm. I'll sort of kind of lean over to Hisoka a bit. Kisaki-sama, the clan of the Tortoise, deals in trade and has rumored strong connections with individuals that few honorable men would care to associate with.
Very well.
They may not see the valor and honor in providing service to an potentially rival clans merely out of their Valley of Bushido.
Mm-hmm. I'm just trying to think of where else we can get allies. Other than wandering the countryside.
Well, something you would know. The Akodo Blade is part of the Lion Clan. Is a sort of a sacred relic of the Lion Clan. Yes, I know.
That's definitely still an avenue, and that's where I'm trying to. There's definitely value there in terms of like where our other options to go are.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Because I feel like we are short on places to go to find allies.
Yeah, make me another etiquette roll.
Okay.
And Hayato will
18.
So
then cool. I don't know all the cool ally hang.
Allies of the Dragon Clan. Include the Dragonfly Clan. They have fairly strong. The Dragonfly Clan has fairly strong ties to the dragon and are primarily Shugenja clan, which means that they may have some sort of assistance with dealing with Shadowlands creatures.
Who is that?
The Dragonfly Clan.
Okay.
They're like your clan, but much more fly.
The Falcon Clan are cousins to the Crab Clan, which you may have an in there with Akane.
And if they're cousins with the crab, they may also like smashing Shadowlands things.
Right.
They are.
Are these things like within? Get there, get them, come back within.
These are sort of clans that have villages that you could stop at on the way back home.
Okay.
Along the very long river that you have to go back up. There and the Lion Clan, obviously, whom you have a connection with via Hinata, the Crane Clan as well from Airi, and the Unicorn Clan. They're Gaijin mostly, and influenced by Gaijin as well. They're a little bit But of all the clans, the Dragon Clan are the only ones that really see a lot of the value that the Unicorn have. So they would particularly be a clan you might be interested in getting assistance from, and that you're fairly certain would be willing to assist the dragon because of their fairly decent relationship with the dragon. Although they still see the dragon as slightly weird, as most clans do, but the dragon are more friendly towards them than the rest. So, and to your mind, their cavalry, in addition to being a powerful ally, would also be a decent way to get around the valley if need be.
Okay.
So you have a few options, and the potentially least favorable but most powerful option would be the Phoenix clan, who have territory just north of the valley. They
don't like us very much, do they?
They don't really like the Dragon Clan all that much, but they are some of the most powerful Shugenja in the land.
Right.
And, if we don't win, then they've got Akujino on their fucking doorstep.
So that might be sort of like the last resort option, but that is also an option.
There is also the potential, Kisaki-sama, that the Togashi monks might be interested in attempting to prove their loyalty and demonstrate that this corruption that has spread to one of their number is an isolated incident.
Yep. Well, we can hit up a number of those on the way. I do feel like that the blade is worth trying for. Reliant one.
Very well.
So let's see if we can chart a course that'll take us through a few of those places and on the way to talk to a turtle about a sword.
Fortunately, there is only one course to get back home. And it sort of naturally, because it runs almost the gamut of the Empire, it runs through Crane territory, Lion territory, Unicorn territory, and all the way back around to your territory and minor clans in between. So you have you have your pick of who you want to stop at if you want to stop at.
I mean, why stop at one?
Well, so you do know that every time you stop, it's likely going to be a day that you stop. You don't just stop for a few hours, especially with a ship.
Yeah.
So there is an element of
you're
how
not
much time
wrong
do you
there.
want to spend talking to people.
Unicorn would be good. I feel like he's going to default a lot to tradition, the Dragon's strongest ties.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be the Dragonfly clan and the Unicorn.
And Unicorn, yeah.
If we want to challenge this Akujin to a duel, I am not the strongest duelist. There are more learned people where I come from. It may be useful to talk there.
That
There is a
could
Corinne
be.
on the way.
It could potentially be useful, yes. I cannot speak to details of his thought or motivations, but this Akujin did not appear to be the sort of individual who would consent to such a formalized arrangement,
No,
however.
that's my concern. There didn't seem to be much of an honor situation going on
Yeah.
at this point.
He offered us tea. He stands by the ceremonies.
Mhm.
Yes, but how much of that was
Actually-
toying and how much wasn't? It seemed more like I'm going to be honest, it seemed more like the mockery of conventions than the conventions themselves.
Yes, Aaron?
How do I think I need to phrase this to the GM because I'm not sure if I'm right.
Okay,
Sorry.
that's fine.
Basically, if someone beat him on a one-on-one duel, that would, I assume, be potentially a more like expensive favor than having a bunch of people help us beat him.
I think that's fair to say.
Okay.
That depends.
So we'd like to hire your daimyo.
Like,
much
yeah,
would
yeah,
that be?
like, yeah. If you go after the Crane clan's most revered, best duelist, that's gonna be expensive.
I meant more in terms of like results and what results cost.
Yeah, like it's gonna be expensive to get the best Crane clan duelist, and if they succeed, there's definitely going to be favors owed. If they don't succeed, there's probably going to be favors owed if you survive. You cost us the life of our best duelist.
Yeah,
things like that.
Okay.
So we're gonna need your
Good
valley
to be
now.
sure. Hinata, well, there's always the challenge with a duel if he did stand by ceremony in such a way. He is quite formidable, and we face not only the risk of a loss, but the risk that with no disrespect to your family, Hisoka, it's not, or Kazaki-san, might be more expensive than we can afford in terms of acquiring help that would be effective enough.
Meanwhile, two of you charged him and were not able to make a scratch.
I
You're
don't
not
disagree.
incorrect.
Though we did learn that certain blades he would likely be vulnerable to.
That's what I feel like. This is not a. I feel like this is not a fight that is going to be won in a duel situation. This is going to be a situation where perhaps a confrontation of force is going to be needed. A coalition.
Indeed.
Then I suggest we go after a healer.
Storyteller looks up battlefield rules.
The battlefield rules don't usually apply to one person versus an army.
Not usually.
The way we're talking, maybe.
We about to go samurai warriors in this.
How going to pay for him? All right, I'm going to need a map of all the Kappa dens we can find.
Well, I feel like that's also important in terms of not just commercial goals, but he's come back and is very specifically targeting this area. I'm kind of curious as to why, and he was not forthcoming when we spoke with him, as I recall.
He did carry himself with the air of someone who had greater plans in mind than simply renovating the family home and settling down for
Yes.
a decade. Mm.
And I feel like it is important for him to understand that it is not simply Dragon that stands up to him.
When we shall approach as many of the other clans as we can with the time that we have allotted to us, and you have spoken of the dragonfly, the unicorn.
Dragonfly, unicorn. Perhaps if we have enough time there as well, crane.
I mean, there's also the mantis on whose ship you are standing.
We asked them.
Yeah,
We
they're on board,
explicitly asked
right?
this specific ship of Mantis.
And
about being interested in helping us fight Shadowlands.
They win us.
And of course, Yase-sama's birth clan may look favorably upon one of its own, bearing one of the legendary weapons of their families.
That is also true. That's why I feel like that is a definite stop we need to make.
Very well. Ren-sama, you are of a military mindset.
To answer your question, we're going everywhere.
Sounds good.
I strongly do recommend the.
Sorry.
They are.
Hey, just ask me something. Sorry.
Oh, he was getting ready to ask, being of a military mindset and of tactical training, at what point will we have to say enough is enough and accept what we have acquired before preparing for whatever confrontation will ensue?
We've established that traditional weapons seem to have almost no effect on our target. I would generally argue that if we expect to only do battle with Akujin, we only need as many bodies as can handle the weapons that we can find, and perhaps some backups in case of those individuals falling. But if we expect Akujin to pull some of the Shadowlands forces with him, we'll need more soldiers to keep them at bay, while those who can wield these artifacts face off with the general of the army.
In that mindset, the best place to start may be the unicorn. They're a bit odd, but they... Well, that oddity is both charming, and horses are quite a convenience if we are considering the need to mobilize quickly and travel quickly.
I think first we should find out whether we'll just be facing Akujin or Akujin and an army of Shadowlands beasts, because if we're fighting just the demon himself, then an army will do us no good, as arrows and swords will do nothing to his hide.
Of course, I simply wonder how we determine that.
A valid question.
find him. See if he's amassing soldiers or
Geography question, because I
Mhm.
got a little confused.
Yes.
Isn't he sort of like back where we need to go?
we
and
don't
these
know
are
where he
stopped
went.
on the way.
He as far as you know, he's somewhere in the valley. You don't know where in the valley, but somewhere in the valley, which would be the end of which would be the
So
end
he
of
is
the line.
back where we need to
Yeah.
go. We just don't know where back where we need to go.
Correct.
Mhm.
Any stops that we make on the way?
Give
be
me a Shadowlands
cautious.
Akane, give me Shadowlands lore check.
I mean, I already know that powerful Shadowlands creatures tend to attract other ones.
Yeah,
I have Shadowlands lore. Can I roll that?
you can too. This is specifically to this
23.
conversation. There are ways to determine the quantity of Shadowlands creatures in an area. If there are indications that can be had to determine whether or not an army is being amassed. The crab used these quite often on the wall to determine where there's going to be an attack. Those are done by Shugenja. Experienced Shugenja that know what they're looking for, that have been specifically trained to this task.
He's
not
saying
just
I
any
don't have
Shugenja.
that level of spells.
Well, not necessarily that level, but that particular type of spell.
So Shugenja from the
I
south
can cast
might
earth spells.
be
I just
valuable.
can't cast that earth spell.
Yeah. There are Crab Clan Shugenja, there are Crab Clan Shugenja that know how to do it. Any minor clan that specializes in Shugenja would probably know how to sense Shadowlands amassing for the protection of their clan.
And the Falcon
Dragon
Clan the Falcon Clan has a relationship to the Crab Clan, correct?
The Falcon Clan are Bushi, not Shugenja.
Yeah.
Dragonfly though.
But like the Dragonfly, the Phoenix, like these would be the Shugenja that immediately pop into your mind.
Mm-hmm. So she would just note, any Shugenja on the way to our destination would be valuable to help us determine the number of Shadowlands beasts that we would be facing, and whether or not we would need an army, or simply enough samurai to wield these weapons.
Okay.
And should we need forces, the Falcon Clan would likely be willing to do battle with the forces of the Shadowlands, considering their history with my clan.
Especially if we need to travel up and back, I was saying unicorn quick transportation.
Yeah.
Yeah, the unicorn have the means by which to travel fast along the land. The mantis can get you up and down the river pretty quickly, but they're limited to the river.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
And I'm not sure how
entirely.
many
You
of the
can push
villages
a
are
boat
directly
across land. It's just not very fast.
Arashi will push the boat along the ground if you want him to. It will still take a while. This seems stupid, but okay.
Right. Well, we kind of have goals and we kind of have directions
So,
and locations.
heading back towards the river.
Uh-huh.
Where are
Shall
you
we start
wanting
with the
to
dragonfly?
stop first?
Out of all those things we have mentioned, what's first on our trip? Or
The
on
crane.
the way? There you go.
All right, stopping at the crane first.
Nominally sequential order does seem like a good idea.
Yeah. Now let's go all the way down the river to Dragon.
So
then
okay, so
back to crane.
to give you an idea of who you'll be passing along the way. The crane first, and after a while, never again. After them, after After them, lion for a while. After them, unicorn. After them, dragonfly and lion again. Tortoise, lion again, and then back home. To get to the Phoenix, you'd have to go north up the coast, and then go overland back to the valley rather than going up the river. And to get to the
Falcon.
to get to the Falcon, you'd have to go overland south from the Unicorn.
All right.
The Unicorn would have to take you to the Falcon.
Crane!
All right. So
The voice.
without stopping, it would take 3 days to get back to the valley. So bearing that in mind, you stop at the Crane Clan port, the first Crane Clan port that you arrive at. The Crane are practitioners of the art of Bushido. In the same way that there are painters and artists. In fact, many of the Crane are also painters.
You also say it with the voice. You have to say it.
Artist.
So the Crane are the ones who are snobby and look down on craft.
Yes.
There you go.
They're also the ones who perform an Iaido duel and then believe they've won when the Kappa continues to run forward with a sword.
So, if there is an individual of importance anywhere in the Empire, then it may be safely assumed that they have a close friend, advisor, or spouse that is a Crane. The Crane, in addition to being artists with the blade and paint and brush and harp and whatever else they choose, are the social and political... They sort of have a tight grip on the social and political world of Rokugan. And as they make themselves indispensable to all others who wield power. And as such, they emphasize their importance with their architecture. Where the Dragon Clan has very old and traditional style architecture, the kind of thing you might see in a painting, like in a landscape. The Crane Clan architects are truly auteurs in the way they make wood and stone carved to their liking, making each building an art piece in and of itself. And so, as you dock at the Crane Clan port city, you hear a lot of spitting into the water from the Mantis Clan. As you find yourselves in this beautiful city, just everything looks... The city itself looks like an artist painted it into existence. Everything from the multi-storied pagoda sort of in the center of town to the sakura blossom trees, sort of all of which are in bloom currently with their petals drifting lazily in the wind. And the beautiful blonde and white and silver-haired people wandering around with their perfectly fitted and accented kimono and hakama and all of their various accoutrements. The
Rato just sort of stands at the gunnels of the ship with his hands on the rail and just kind of blinks for a minute. And then whichever of his companions is closest, he just goes over and in a mildly confused voice, "It is the depth of winter. How have they arranged for it to be spring here?"
I've learned not to question how the clans aestheticize.
Very wise.
Because they put all of their effort into aesthetic and not into effectiveness. They wouldn't last a week on the wall.
Barton is also an aesthetic, Akane.
Suzume goes,
Grandson.
"Magic."
I assume that part was obvious.
I mean, sometimes it's not.
It's beautiful. I've
That would
missed
be
this.
rude.
And you see a lot of people that look kind of like Irie. They have sort of a standard aesthetic.
Yep. And I have been, ever since figuring out that we're going to the Crane Clan first, I have been obsessively trying to fix my scar so it doesn't look terrible.
I mean, it's
hidden.
it is an artistic scar.
Mhm.
It is as if someone cut a hole in your chest and pulled out your heart, which would speak to any Crane Clan.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep.
that's not that.
I'm very worried about it.
It is the most artistic scar you could possibly have, really. But you can cover it up easily enough.
Yeah. Just worry about it.
The gangplank
Okay. Yeah.
hits the ground. You see the peg-legged captain hobble down and begin talking with the Port Authority. You are here.
Look over at Irie. I believe we will be following your lead in this situation.
Of course.
As I'm sure you can understand.
I suggest if we're looking for numbers of warriors, we go and visit an outpost of my school, whichever one GM, I'm assuming there are like different ones, or will they have to travel inland to find a Kakita school?
Akane kind of smirks at the mention of warriors among the crowd.
On the crane. Arashi just sort of shoulders his Bicento. Do you want us to come with you or stay behind on the ship? Indicating him and Suzume. Neither of whom look clean or put together.
No. I think you can rest here. We want to be able to leave soon.
Akane kind of hangs back in that same general field as well, all things considered.
Oh yeah, it kind of has a few new bite mark scars and burns. Huh?
Yep.
And I mean, the outfit that she wears is already kind of like world weary and tattered.
Didn't we? Aren't we all pretty much scarred in some way?
Really, Irie is the only clean-looking one amongst you, except for Hinata. But
I've barely gotten hit, and
I mean, I have another.
no, I look
set of
frail as
clothing
fuck,
and-
but that's about it.
Hinata looks frail, like a flower. Hinata will fit in fine.
I look frail, not at all like a sunflower, ironically.
Hayato looks gorgeous but disreputable.
Hayato,
So he's definitely coming along.
Hayato is the Han Solo of the group.
Ren looks angry, tall, and imposing, so...
And
You're
slightly
Chewbacca.
drunk.
Times,
Han
let's
Solo
call him
Chewbacca.
Let's get with the times. Let's call him the Podamarin of.
No. I'm dangerous and gorgeous. I'm not a fuck up.
Yeah, so we've got Han, Chewie,
Oh God, am I
Luke,
Luke?
Leia.
Yes, you are.
Am I Luke?
You're
Oh
Luke.
fuck!
And Mara Jade Skywalker over here, who's going to be leading us into her family clan.
Yeah.
All right. So the five of you step off the ship onto the docks, where the captain turns to you and says, "Well, welcome to Ninjuhana. Enjoy your stay. The boys and I are just going to be offloading some of our salvage, so probably take us about a day to sell some of those stuff. So you've got a day before you need to come back and let us know if you want to stay or go."
Of course.
Thank you.
All right.
I'd rather
Have-
be with the unicorn.
Have fun. Akane, no, you wouldn't.
Actually, yes, the crab respects the unicorn a lot.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
Hinata will. I would as well, but let's not say that too loud here.
In all honesty, I could stay on the ship with Arashi and Suzume. Because I'm fairly certain that if I go with you, I'm going to start a fight. And it's not going to be a duel like your Pretty Crane clan enjoy.
Hinata will walk up to Hisoka. Would you mind if Akane and I went off to look at the markets or something?
No, of course.
It's appreciated. And just gently sort of waves to Akane.
She shrugs and follows after.
Can I make a stealth roll?
Sure.
Oh boy.
Who are you stealthing after?
Akane and Yase.
Okay. First name and surname. Got it.
Yep, yeah. Sorry. Still trying to figure that out.
Akane really doesn't care if you call her by her first name.
Ren Akane.
That is a 30.
You two of you can make investigation notice checks.
Somehow I don't think I'll be rolling a 30, considering I have 3 dice to roll and
I
can't
will
explode.
make the roll because there's
20.
chance, but it's untrained, so.
You made a 20.
Oh wait,
pretty
no,
good.
I have a rank of that. 18.
Yeah,
Sorry.
if I was going to make a 30, all 3 of them would have had to have been 10s.
I mean, hey, that's a
I
possibility.
mean, Akane only gets about 10 steps before Hayato's at her elbow. Be careful.
I will try not to break any Pretty Crane merchandise.
That is all I would ask.
In this episode, Akane learns a new respect for the Crane clan as they
No, she
single-handedly
really
give
doesn't.
her ass. No.
And then
No,
he
like,
sneaks back to the group that he's actually going with.
So, the two of you head off. Are you looking to go into a particular place, or are you actually going to the markets?
I don't know if I've ever spent much time in Crane Clan territory, though I can assume I've spent some. I'm looking for the place where Akane isn't going to break the things or the people.
So
On
that-
the ship, like she suggested.
That would be outside.
Yes, but I told my spouse we were going shopping because I felt like he would say no to going back to the ship.
That would be either outside the city, or theoretically a bar.
Assuming it's a bar and not a poetry den.
Hey, they're great.
Can I find a bar where the sort of aesthetic is silence?
Give me a investigation check.
$24.
Okay. You find you find a small place called Shizukana Hana, which seems to be making not a lot of noise on the inside.
Okay.
It seems to be some sort of restaurant.
Can I do an etiquette or something for details or no?
You'd have to go inside to sort of learn more about it. It's not like they don't have like their menu on the outside or anything
Okay.
like that.
Sure.
So the two of you step inside, past the
Akane's letting me lead her around.
past the
Sure.
beaded curtain, and you find yourselves in a cloudy room. And you just sort of a quick glance around, you see that there are various people in sort of curtained off cubicles and sort of multicolored smoke fogging out from underneath the curtains.
Please tell me a curtain of roses peels back.
No,
Damn it.
you haven't smoked anything yet.
Oh, okay.
There is a fairly delicate looking lady sitting at a bar counter sort of opposite the door that has a variety of hand carved wooden boxes along the back of it and what looks to be some sort of you would at first assume, you've never had any experience with this particular type of thing, you would at first assume it was some sort of vase, except that it has numerous appendages hanging off of it, sort of on the
Okay,
counter.
I have a decent idea this isn't what I'm looking for. Polite bow.
It is fairly quiet in there, but
I have a decent sense this is not what I'm looking for. I am a healer. I'm not stupid when it comes to this kind of thing. Yeah. So
Right.
just
you step
slight
back out.
acknowledgement, head back out.
You step back out. All right, Akane Hinata comes back out.
Mhm.
Um,
Akane is just kind of looking around. Everything here is so frail. I'm afraid I'll break something just by walking by it as she adjusts the 6 weapons that she's carrying on her.
Akane is Grand Theft Rokugan.
Well, she's got her machete, her nodachi, 2 katanas, and then the wakizashi. And so
Yep.
That's 5, but
five weapons.
make this a lawful good playthrough of Grand Theft Auto.
you continue searching for something else.
In the meantime, I'll just sort of politely browse shops or something.
All right.
Yeah.
There's a
What
lot.
are the odds that I go on?
There are a lot of fine pottery stores, glass-blown artisanal crafts stores. There are literature stands with
Anywhere
poetry
that sells
and scrolls and things. There are plenty of ribbons of all different kinds.
He's not just going to go by like 4 different ribbon stands and look at all of the different colors of ribbons and stuff.
Every color of the rainbow.
Uh,
And some colors that you're pretty certain they made up.
that's cool. That's clever.
So what are the odds that while walking through all of these market stands that I do knock something over just by the sheer width and length of all the weapons that I'm carrying around me?
Not very great, actually. The weapons you're carrying, while they are large, are all contained to you, for the most part. And you do notice that there are several other people walking through the market with a variety of weapons, some even, some of them not necessarily as big as yours, but many of them just as cumbersome. The stalls seem to be designed. There is more than enough space for large crowds to move between them without touching any one side.
Okay.
So
If I can
you're not going to break
find-
anything without trying, basically.
Mm-hmm.
If I can find like a purple ribbon of some sort, I'll buy a short length of that.
It'll be 3 zenny.
Okay, that's fine. And after that, Hinata will look to Akane, give us a small smile. Well, I believe that qualifies as having gone to the markets, and so as not to intrude, I think we can now reasonably just head back to the ship.
Thank you.
Meanwhile, Hisoka, Hayato, and Airi.
Yep. Walking along, trying to find a Kikita Bushi school. And you all realize at this point that though I look awesome, I do not look as awesome as everyone else here because I'm kind of poor.
In fact, that is correct. Airi, while being very well put together and very pretty, is not as pretty as everyone else. Idri is the ugliest duckling if the ugliest duckling was still prettier than all the other ducklings.
If the ugliest duckling was still a swan.
Yep.
Um, you do eventually find the sounds of training, the sounds of tatami mats being clobbered by bamboo swords, and the strange to Hisoka and Hayato, even the physical training of their bushi is melodic. Like, you're used to the ha, pff, ha, pff, but there's just something about it, like they're keeping time to a melody you can't hear. That just seems more fluid than most. As you find yourself standing outside of a Kakita Bushi training dojo.
Okay. And I go in. I don't know what the appropriate way to approach this would be because I'm tactically not. I almost got kicked out. So what be the?
It depends on how It depends on how you're wanting to approach. Are you wanting to approach as a student of the Kakita Bushi school? Are you wanting to approach to try to take the sign from their dojo? What are you? What is the intention here? For those that are unaware, taking the sign of a dojo is basically means you challenge the master of the dojo and take the sign as your reward.
Yeah.
I just got injured. I don't think I'm that arrogant right now.
Injured
Let's
by
go
a kappa.
with, yeah. Let's go as a student.
All right. So yeah, you would enter in just normally, removing your sandals as you get through the entrance door, and then sort of as you go in. There are plaques on the walls that are the names of all of the students, and they're sort of lining the archway that leads into the dojo proper. So you can at a glance look and see how many students are currently in. And looks like there are currently about 50 students in, along with the master, whose name is basically at the top, forming the keystone of the arch, basically. And there is a basket on the left-hand side. Half of it's sort of deviated out into two spots. Half of it have names already written down. The other half are blank. And there is an ink pot to the left of it. You know that tradition would say that if you're a guest, you would put your name on a plaque and then hang it on the wall. If you're a student, you would do the same, but...
Yep. I'm writing my name down.
Do you lead the other two in doing this as well?
Yes.
Okay.
If I see that they're not picking it up.
Hisoka and Hayato?
Yep.
So do you follow suit?
Absolutely.
We'll write down Nakano Hayato.
Okay. So the three of you write down your names and hang them on empty spots on the wall, on the arch, and stand and continue inward. As you enter, you see several young crane at training. Again, bamboo sticks, tatami mats, practicing their forms. And wandering up and down through their ranks is an older female, very well put together, strong bone structure, thin, long white hair tied back into a ponytail, hanging down, wearing just sort of a training garb, sort of these piercing silver eyes. As she looks over and sees the rest of you, sees the three of you enter, looks back at her students and calls out for them to continue their training. Puts sort of sheaths the bamboo training stick that she has, and moves up to you. Welcome to our dojo. How may I be of assistance?
Hello.
Hello. It is good to be here. We have come to learn from you, and I have assured my companions that The Crane family has a lot to offer in the way, or the Crane clan has a lot to offer in the way of assisting with the problem we have.
So she sort of bows. Well then, I am Kakita Rika, master of this dojo. What would you like to learn?
I would be honored for the chance to train longer with you. We only have a day, but we have a situation, and I look to Hisoka. The situation with the Kasaki family lands. There is an Akujin that is threatening the area.
Yes.
She sort of raises an eyebrow and looks at Hisoka.
It has challenged the rulership of the area, and we aim to stop it. I take out the sword, the Masamune blade, and
Akane has the fire one still, yeah. So
yeah, I'm just indicating mine at least. Yeah.
Oh no, I do have 6. I have 3 katanas on me.
Yeah.
Counting swords. We have weapons worthy of this fight, but we do not have warriors worthy of it yet. Not enough.
Not enough.
If it brings an army.
you are seeking duelists, then?
Yes.
We are seeking allies.
Well, if you are seeking Kakita Bushi, then I can certainly put word out to our various schools. This is a beginner's dojo. We do not have many graduates here, but we could send word to some of the more populous cities. The question, though, is of what cost? What would we be getting from this alliance? If it is as dangerous as you indicate, then the lives of our clan members would be at stake, as well as the honor of our clan. These are not things we put on the line lightly, I assure you.
Can I make an etiquette roll?
Sure.
Yeah.
How gauche is it to talk
have a-
money at a time like this?
Plan of attack.
Yeah,
but
I'm
Sure.
I would like to make that as well.
Jesus, only a 19.
19
Yep,
and a
same
19
here.
and a 10.
Ooh, 10.
Irie,
no idea what
this is above your pay grade.
Yeah.
Hayato and Hisoka, this is not a subject of money.
Okay.
This is a subject of you're asking me, while I might not fully understand the situation, I do understand that you are asking me to devote clan resources to a cause that is not our own, that will likely result in the death of at least one, if not more, of those resources.
Yeah.
There has to be something political involved to make that worthwhile. It's not something anybody's going to do for nothing. It wouldn't be, money would not be the correct response in this particular case.
Mm-hmm.
What's her name again?
Kakita Rika.
Yeah.
Okay.
Same last name as me.
Kita-sama. The concern is this will become a situation that would almost certainly end up extending to you and yours in short order. It may not be directly affecting you now?
You're wearing Dragon Clan colors, correct?
Correct.
She sort of looks over at you. The Dragon Clan lands are far from here.
You're not incorrect.
But the waters that bypass our ports are the very waters that flow swiftly past yours. These beings of shadow have shown an affinity for utilizing such venues in order to move and spread their influence.
Yes.
My
those-
leaders...
Those very same waters also flow past a variety of other powerful clans, including the Imperial capital. If your suggestion is that the Shadowland creatures are powerful enough to overthrow the Dragon Clan in its entirety, the Phoenix Clan, the Lion Clan, and the Imperial capital and all those that lie in between, I would have to say I am afraid you put far too much stock in these creatures.
Oh, somewhere back on the ship, the Crab Clan warrior is just like, someone thinks they can handle the Shadowlands somewhere.
Yeah.
Well, that statement wasn't so much that the Crane can, it's that literally 5 other clans are between us and you.
It is true that much of Rokugan lies between the nest of this threatening evil and your beautiful city. But far-reaching though these waters may be, the reputation of the Crane has spread at least that far, if not further. Therefore, when considering allies, we struck first towards your location. Based on reputation, based on legend.
Because they were first on the way.
Hey, you shut the fuck up.
Hold on. I need to. God damn it.
Oh my god, yes.
To point out because of my disadvantage.
None of what I've said is untrue.
Make a sincerity roll.
Who, me?
Yeah, you.
Can you say it believably enough that he
28.
doesn't feel the need to call you out on it?
You can make me an investigation roll.
Oh god. Is this it?
It's not a lie.
Nope.
But it is not the whole truth.
Right.
So your bonuses to lies don't necessarily qualify.
Okay.
But it is still whether or not Hayato is delivering this in the manner that you deem most honest.
Emphasis interrogation.
It would be emphasis interrogation. Yeah.
Okay.
Actually,
30.
it would be emphasis notice, because he's not talking directly to you. Interrogation is when you're talking to that person as opposed to listening in.
Okay.
So it actually emphasis notice. 53. So with a 53 compared to the paltry 28 of Hayato. Hayato did not phrase that in the way that you would deem most direct and truthful. He didn't technically lie, but that's not how you would have phrased that.
Oh, do you get a willpower roll to not call him out on it like I get for brash?
I don't know how
I
the
need to
disadvantage
look
works.
Up of disadvantage.
Which one is it?
So right now, you know that GIF of the kid in high school whose face is red with a vein pulsing and like sweat going down the side? That's Hisoka right now.
You need to make a willpower roll, target number 20.
Okay.
Yours is a little bit easier than my willpower roll to not start a fight.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Let's watch this go.
This is gonna be great.
Nice!
You
Nope.
must have called him out.
You gotta call him out.
What?
Now,
No.
now, worth noting, you do not have to go, my colleague here is a fat fucking liar.
I'm aware.
But you do have to correct him.
Yes. In addition, Kisaki-sama, I'm Kisaki. You're
Kakita.
Kakita-sama.
Kakita-sama. You were closest.
There's a beat.
I turned big red.
Said with the straightest of faces.
Oh, I love disadvantages.
Somewhere Renekane is just feeling better for some reason.
I just feel this worse.
Meanwhile,
I am so glad that I took this disadvantage.
Oh, this is fantastic. My companion's father, Kisaki Domo, leader of the Dragon Lands in the valley, is well aware that calling on old connections and establishing new alliances are likely highly vital in any sort of request for assistance in defending the honor and safety of Rokugan. Kisaki-sama, your father provided you details on what sort of compensation and consideration would be offered, did he not?
Did he? Because I don't remember that.
honor and glory?
Please say it
Possibly
exactly
no.
like that. Honor and glory?
I mean, you have a general idea of how much the clan can afford.
Yeah.
Germa's
This
great.
isn't a money situation.
Yeah.
Rika turns to Idari. You serve this family.
She's like, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then
That sort of tone.
perhaps, if you're looking for allies, you should look for Crane Clan warriors who are already connected to your family through the service of this one.
Of course. I stand up stiffly and exit stage left.
Stand up.
Irie
Bow.
abandons the two of you.
Exit, stage left even.
Well, I believe our conversation is complete. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for your consideration.
Oh, I really want to
Bow
get to
and follow.
I really want to get to Unicorn Lands where Akane is just like, hey brothers, we got a fight on the horizon. Come on.
As we rock it out. I feel
and like
that
half a
didn't go-
battalion gets up from lunch and is like, okay.
Well, that did not go quite as expected.
No.
Hato's just giving Hisoka a very sort of evaluative look. Like if you can communicate just through body language, the sort of vibe of, huh.
Completely oblivious to the fact that he did anything wrong.
Of course, of course.
Do.
I think we need to go talk to my family, which is not a prospect I look forward to.
They here? Are they?
We,
Is that another trip?
GM, that would be a question for you if there's like any sort of people I can call on in this port. As far as
Is Aunt Charlotte here in Charlestown?
Give me an investigation check.
okay, yeah,
Sorry. Lots of things revolve on investigation checks in this game,
yeah, I'm terrible at them.
as it turns out.
11, yeah. And I have my disadvantage of like black sheep, so there may be people here, but they may not like me. Charlotte.
Yes, actually. You find, so just sort of asking around in the markets, and just sort of around, you find that there actually is a member of the Hikaino family in town. Apparently they're here on business of some kind. With the and were last seen at the pagoda in the center of town.
Okay. Yep. There is someone here from my family.
Okay.
I should perhaps warn you that I did not leave on the best. I did not come into your family's service on the best terms with them.
How so?
Full-on investigator mode, 100% of the time.
It's a very long story. Do you want the short version?
Yes.
Whatever gives us an accurate picture.
I fell in love with the wrong person.
Oh.
And decisions were made that may have been unwise and yes, but they will still talk to me.
Is that a lie? Because I don't know if he gets the automatic roll against those yet.
No, that's the truth.
He doesn't get the automatic rolls until rank 5.
Yeah.
If you think it is still worth having the conversation.
Yes.
Okay.
We are here.
Let us go then.
All right. Head toward the pagoda.
So, the pagoda is a spout of worship for the kami. It's also, in Crane clans, an art installation. They worship in art galleries, you know.
Like you do.
And as you get there, you instantly spot, because he's hard to miss,
Wow.
Hikaino Aburai. Your cousin, who has black hair, unlike the rest of the family, with one long white streak going from just left of center of the forehead all the way back down. His hair is slicked back, matted down either with paint or gel. You're never sure. Sort of, but long, hanging down to the middle of his back, sort of loose, and just this one long streak of white hair from here all the way down to the end. Wearing a samurai's hakama with a daisho and the sash, but or whole outfit, kimono and daisho, but with an extra coat on the outside that has bits of paint splattered on it. Sort of standing there with a brush, holding a brush as one might hold a long-stemmed pipe, and staring at some art that you know he made because it's fantastic and he's the artist of the family. You know him by reputation, but you've never actually interacted with him all that much.
Mm-hmm.
The occasional family get together. He's from a separate branch of the family.
Yeah.
He is a bushi. He is a bushi that also attended the Kakita school. And he is apparently a fair duelist, but he's artsy even for the artsy people.
Yep.
Like, he's like Hideo Kojima levels of artsy. For those of you that know game design.
Oh God.
Holy shit.
So, but he's not wearing a moon on his head, so he's not that level of artsy.
Not right now. There was one family event, but they have since convinced him not to wear that in public.
All right. And as far as addressing him, would cousin be close enough where I should speak to him as family, or
He's still
is this more of
family.
a form- Okay.
Aburai or cousin or...
All right. Aburai, fancy seeing you here.
He looks over his shoulder. Ah, Irie. Welcome. Whatever are you doing here? I thought
hate
you
him
were
already.
serving with that dreary dragon clan folk.
Yes. And
No.
Straight back, bowed. Oh.
the cloud is already here, and we were in port to ask around. There's a bit of a problem with that Kasaki-sama is facing. There's
You haven't done anything foolish and done something to endanger your lord, have you, Irie?
No. There's
He sort of raises an eyebrow, points the brush at you.
Yep.
None of your hot-headedness, is it?
No, it's an Akujin that has decided he wants to take over the lands.
And what is an
And-
Akujin?
It's a demon from the Shadowlands.
Well, that does sound dreadful, doesn't it?
It's a nightmare.
Hmm.
We are in town to try and recruit duelists for whatever battle is going to take place.
And so naturally you thought of your cousin, the foremost duelist in our family. I am honored, of course, but what could one man simply do against such a dark and demonic creature?
Mm.
That is a good question. What could you do?
Well, I am an expert duelist. If it's something that a duel could settle, then I could have it over with in a flash. But from the sounds of it, it seems like you're requiring something along the lines of large numbers of martial might.
Yes,
That
this
would be
is not.
ideal.
For family, I could certainly lend a blade, and I could talk to your father, though he is a bit miffed with you currently.
Yes.
Well,
We need.
when you say the
Force-
words you said upon leaving, I mean, most people would be.
If you. If you could give him my apologies, yes, that would be
I
most
mean,
helpful.
I could, but they would mean so much more coming from you. Perhaps in the form of a painting. I could take you to my studio in town. You could make a lovely art piece to apologize to your dear father.
Yes, I would love to do that.
Splendid! We will go then. Come, follow me, and your guests as well. Come. And he spins around, his coat fluttering behind him as he leaves the pagoda and heads off in a direction.
I don't like him. Okay. Yep, we follow. I follow. At least.
Oh, Hayato is right on her heels.
Akane's back at the ship helping the mantis offload crates, and she's just in a chipper mood for some reason.
Feels great. This is good. What's going on? What about Hisoka? You following?
Yes.
Having been summarily ignored that entire conversation.
Look,
So was I.
yeah, no,
didn't-
that's not the concern. But there is a certain amount of side eye that is being given to this guy.
You can make an investigation check if you would like to see if he's lying about anything. What I
Sure,
don't
why
know you'd be
not?
checking.
I don't know that he would be, but
This man has not dueled a day in his life.
32.
No, he's
Actually not lying. He when he referred to himself as the greatest duelist of the clan, of their family, that may have been an overblown statement, but as far as he's concerned, it wasn't a lie.
As far as I'm concerned, it's a lie. Terrible lie.
Typically, he doesn't have the false confidence of a braggart. Whether or not that's true, you would have to ask others, or experience it
Right.
yourself.
He might be suffering dementia, but as far as he cares.
So, after a fairly short walk, you find yourselves stationed outside of another very artistically crafted house that he leads you all into, removing his sandals as he gets through the door. Come this way. The studio is simply in here. I have all the materials you would possibly need to craft an exquisite apology tapestry for your father, which I will send off post-haste, at no charge to you, my beloved cousin.
Oh, thank you, cousin. Yeah, following.
And yeah, he leads you into an artist's studio. Like there are blank canvases stacked to the ceiling, painted canvases also stacked to the ceiling. And as much as you hate to admit it, he is very good. Like, all of this is exquisite artwork. Lots of abstract stuff, but still exquisite.
That makes it worse. Yep.
All right, cousin. Have at it. Let us see what the inner artiste can bring out of you.
He does paint S O R Y. Done. Oh, and then a smiley face.
So you can give me a craft art check.
Craft. Okay.
Craft art, specifically.
I'm so excited.
What's craft?
It's a
merchant
merchant
skills.
skill.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, I do not have any of this. This is gonna be I am trained. Okay.
Well, you have to be specifically trained in craft art.
Nope. I am trained in making arrows.
Yeah,
apparently.
so you'd have to make an untrained craft roll, which would be... you take craft for specific things, so you'd have to have a second craft skill that is art and be untrained.
Okay.
Yeah,
This is
just hit
gonna
the
go
add.
bad
Just hit the
for
add
everyone.
button to make another skill.
Yep. Let's go badly on this. Do it. 18 though. Pretty good.
You draw. You Bob Ross this up.
It's gonna make
Happy little trees.
Happy little
You make a
apologies.
little happy little mountain. A couple of happy little trees. The sunrise.
Look at all that white powder.
Clouds. Grass.
Gentlemen, roll around.
Couple of cranes flying.
Mm,
They were just where you accidentally dabbed some paint, but you turned them into cranes. And he's sitting back watching, silently judging.
yeah.
You feel that
I am just
the
going
hair
to
on the back of your
engage
neck
him
going
in
up.
random conversation.
Certainly.
So
Hazo
as
is going to go find
nothing
a
in
sunny window.
particular, I'm going to ask him all about himself so that he is not boring a hole through.
Can I try and re-roll that with my honor?
Sure. Give me an honor roll.
Okay. All right. And that was just. Is it 5?
It's
How does that work?
Whatever,
again?
keep whatever. That is your honor rank.
Sweet. Okay.
So if
let
your
me get
honor's
my
like
roll.
5 point whatever, then it'd be 5, keep
Yeah.
5.
5. Yep. Okay. Give me a sec while I type that.
I put a macro for it in Slack if you want to use
Yep.
that.
All right. I've got one. Do.
Yeah, no, he give me a courtier roll.
Okay.
Oops.
42.
It's easy as hell to get this guy to talk about himself.
Yeah. So that way, at least Irie is able to work without feeling like.
Oh yes, so of course I make a living. I am of course a very highly trained duelist, but I also make a living off of my arts. As you can see, this one over here, I painted in a fit of inspiration after seeing the sun rise over the horizon in the ocean. The sun, the light, the way the light reflects off of the water, illuminating just that which is just below the surface. And he starts talking about his art, which has an effect on Irie. But you manage to you start sort of picking out bits of detail that he's describing and adding it in, and as he's talking,
You're plagiarizing.
as he's talking, you're just like sort of glancing around and go, oh, that's actually pretty good. And
You're plagiarizing him while using your honor roll.
not plagiarizing, taking inspiration from. I'm sorry, my son is screaming. Okay, he's very upset.
Something like his stuff because he'll like that.
Yeah, you're taking inspiration from. It's an ode to him as opposed to plagiarizing him. And by the end of it, you're actually quite happy with what you've made here. Like, it's not you've painted before. Everyone has. Everyone in your family has, and it's never been your calling. But you're like, maybe I should do this. You know, that like sort of expression. Like, I'm actually not bad at this. And you put the finishing touches on it, and it's sort of a lovely landscape. You have no idea how this is supposed to say sorry to your father, but you've definitely made a lovely landscape.
I've dotted I've crossed the T's. That's all I care about.
Well then,
All
let's
right.
see what you have there. Ooh, I like the use of color, especially over here. Yes, that's lovely. The little lake and the cranes are fine. You have potential as always, dear cousin. If only you would nurture it, you could be such a fantastic artist if you tried.
I nurture other skills, and I tap my fingers on the swords.
Yes, you are a skilled duelist, not the best, but you are certainly skilled. But it is imperative that you find both the artistry of the blade and the artistry within yourself. When you combine these two, that is when the Crane Clan techniques shine. When you weave your sword through your foes as a paintbrush through oils, that is when you will find your true potential.
I stab him in the throat. I don't really. I'm just that. Conch.
I mean, I have these stats if you want to go.
And then looks down. Oh, did I do that?
You suddenly became a different character of yours.
I just wanted there to be silence for a moment.
Oh, no, you'll find that I've learned since then. But this will go to my father, and...
Yes, I will send it off with your best wishes and see if he would like to devote some of us to your cause. Though, if you'd like, we could certainly have ourselves a practice duel right now and see how far you have come.
Yes, absolutely. It's important that this message gets sent and an answer come back as soon as possible. This happens at the end of the month.
Very
And
well.
I am preparing.
Well then, let us go to the garden.
Yep. And that way.
He sort of leads you out to the back garden.
Hinata looks over to Akane, just inexplicably relieved.
He leads you out to the back garden. It's sort of a Zen garden with sand, two large like stones and sand that has been intricately carved in artistic patterns. He reaches over to one side, pulls out a pair of bamboo training swords, and hands one to you.
Yep.
Yeah.
I take it.
We wouldn't want to hurt each other.
No,
Take your
of
place
course not.
on the stone opposite me, and we'll see just how far you've come.
All right. And there's no particular like trigger or mechanism for this, but I'm rattled. And I've got that lost love thing. It's the wording for it is sort of like at the GMs.
Let me have a look at it real quick.
Yeah. I can put it in chat,
Yeah, do that.
I think.
Yeah. All your TNs are increased by 5
Okay.
until you spend a void point to regain your focus.
Yep. And I'd like to try and sort of center myself because I want to beat him. Dang it.
So you want to spend a void point?
Yes, I will.
Alright, so spend one void point.
All right. And getting ready
Alright, let me pull up
as
the
I try to remember all the
rules
rules for dueling because it's different.
for dueling. Da, 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 da.
It's time to
Do.
I've been waiting
Does
to
that
duel.
reset my hours since last Yu-Gi-Oh reference counter? Given I didn't make that one.
Sure.
Thank you.
All right. So,
Assessment.
on the first round of the duel, so those of you bearing witness, you see these two Crane Clan duelists stand on their stones opposite of each other. The first round is the assessment round. On the first round of the duel, both characters enter the assessment stance on initiative turn of the faster duelist during the assessment stage. So first, we roll initiative.
Okay.
Break his neck with a shuriken just right now.
But then we don't get the painting sent. All right.
Remember
No.
that
It'll just knock him out.
remember
and then
that
he'll
you
wake up
add
about 3
you
hours
add
later.
twice of your you add twice your Iaijutsu skill rank to all initiative rolls.
Yeah. I think that's already in there. I have my modifiers. Plus
Alright.
8. I haven't gone up in insight rank yet, so. Or, yeah, I'm still at rank 1. So 29.
Okay, he's going first.
Okay. Better than me. This is good.
So I'm just looking at stuff really quick. Okay. Da. So, each participant assumes the center stance and makes an EI Jutsu assessment/awareness roll against a TN equal to 10 plus their opponent's insight rank times 5. So what's your insight rank?
1.
All right. I need you to make an EI Jutsu. So it's going to be your EI Jutsu skill with the assessment emphasis, if you have it, plus your awareness. Plus your awareness trait, not your not
agility.
Your agility.
Which is weird because you can't change it.
Yeah, you can't change it in the character sheet, so you're gonna have to actually manually input those values.
Okay. My emphasis is focus, so not that.
Okay.
So it's 4. Wait. Sorry, trying to do math. I was not prepared for this.
Remember, you keep the trait, so.
Okay. 4, and then... And awareness is what I keep? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
4 keep 2. Not great. Okay. Find that.
So
17.
You do not beat his TN.
Yeah, I know.
So so the both of you sort of grip your sword in your offhand and hover your hand over the hilt and lock eyes.
What's your EI Jutsu skill?
4.
So it should be 60-10 keep 2. Because you add the attribute to the keeps, to the rolls and the keeps.
Thank you.
So roll that. Yeah, 60-10 keep 2.
Okay.
You lock eyes with him, sort of piercing.
Lower.
But you don't get anything. Like, normally this is where you would sort of get a sense as to what they're feeling. Mm-hmm. And as flamboyant as he is, he's a blank slate.
Yep.
And you can't help but feeling that he's looking right into your soul.
Okay. Not good. We're going to keep going.
Second round is the focus round.
Yes.
During the second round of the duel, both characters enter the focus stage of the initiative turn on the initiative turn of the faster duelist, starting with him. The opponent studies one another carefully, looking for any weaknesses. The duelists make a contested EI Jutsu focus/void roll. So it's going to be focus plus your void skill rather than awareness.
Mm-hmm. Is that my current void if I've spent one?
It's your current. That's your void. You don't void points that are spent don't count against your dice.
Okay.
Your void trait doesn't go down when you spend void points. You can only spend void points equal to your void trait.
Sweet. All right. And I have an emphasis and focus. So what does that mean?
That just means you reroll once.
Okay. Sweet. So it'd be 4 keep 2 4 plus okay. Riveting stuff.
As you calculate numbers and roll dice.
Yes! Frantically. 18.
Okay. You did not earn first strike.
Dang it.
He did.
Dang it. Okay.
So, as we move into the strike phase, so yeah, basically, if he misses, you get to make an attack.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if he misses.
Hayato's got the popcorn out.
What's your armor, Tien?
Armor is 25.
So you blink, and he's not on the other stone anymore.
Mm.
To those of you standing up from the side, you see him push off the stone, flow across the gap between like he was walking on air, and sort of slip behind Irie. Irie, you feel the tip of his bamboo sword at your hip. Your right hand hip, just above where you're about to draw your sword for the strike. And he just sort of places it on the hilt of your blade. As I said, cousin, when your blade flows like a brush,
and I bow and concede.
He puts it away. I will send off the painting.
Thank you.
Well, and he bows. You are all welcome to stay if you would like, but I have the sense that you have places you need to be.
Yes, pressing
is
business.
Please, take one of my paintings as a memento of this meeting.
Ugh.
And
Dang it.
on that note, we're going to take a quick break.
Yep.
So I can help my screaming child. Back in a minute! That's the wrong one. Hey, and we're back. I hit goodbye instead of booth. Anyways, welcome. We're back from our break. Hope you all stretched your legs, got your drinks, whatever you needed to do. So, Hisoka and Hayato, you have just witnessed the caliber of duelist that Aburai is. Hisoka, you now see why he was confident in the statement that he made. And Airi has conceded the duel. And he has given you a painting.
Hayato passes Hisoka to Zenny.
Hisoka is confused, but takes them.
Yes.
He has offered you your choice of the paintings in his gallery, in his private gallery, to take as a memento of my good cousin coming to visit and seeking to re-solidify her commitment to our family.
How very gracious.
It is the least I can do. And should her dear father decide to send troops your way, I will certainly come to the fore with them. It would be a fascinating thing to see what inspiration I might find facing down this Shadowland-born creature of yours.
Should that situation indeed come to pass, I believe you might find much inspiration in some of the tales from our companion Renakane, who has great experience with creatures of such deplorable aspect.
Please have him ask
I
Akane about
will-
Shadowland stories.
I will be certain to ask should I ever meet this friend of yours. I'm sure they'll make lovely paintings.
Your hospitality has been most appreciated.
He
Indeed.
bows. Looks at, oh.
Pick a painting, somebody!
Lies down and sort of brushes some loose dirt off of his. You notice that while he has a lot of paint splatter on his coat, none of it's dirt, and so he brushes some
It's
loose
all artistic paint sketch.
he brushes some loose dirt off of his coat and leads you all into the gallery. And yeah, he mostly paints landscapes and abstract paintings, all of which are disgustingly pretty. He is a disgustingly good artist.
I take the best looking one.
It's one of his abstract pieces. It's sort of a bar of silver with red and golds and greens and purples sort of interweaving around it, and sort of a sakura leaf dabbing going down the side. This one is one of my favorites. I call it Bushido.
Of course you do.
It's lovely.
I hope it brings you much needed inspiration in the times to come.
It already has.
Well,
And
good luck on your journey. I hope you find all that you're looking for. And perhaps we will meet again in this valley of yours.
head
And
out.
we take our leave.
Yes.
Yep.
And the three of you leave with painting in tow.
Once wrote, Kirita-san, I don't mean to sound rude or,
But
I don't really like him.
the feeling is sort of mutual.
Good. I didn't want to.
I don't get along with my family most of the time, but he's very good. He's very, very good.
Well, this has been a stop.
Shall we return to the ship?
Yes, let's do that.
Do you stroll by any
yeah.
restaurants or anything on the way back?
Fuck no.
Screw these people!
All right. Well then, you
I would want to, but
hastily retreat to the ship.
how much time do we have before we're leaving?
The rest of the day. It's about
Yeah,
noon.
I don't want to sit on the ship and stare at a goddamn beautiful painting all day. I want to be out and off of a ship and away from these people that I've been stuck with for a month or however long it's been since we started. So, if you don't need me to go back to the ship yet, we have to wait until they unload and
Of course,
do.
yes.
I would like to wander. I'll
By
be
all
back.
means. Okay.
And I head off
Do
on
you
my
leave?
own.
Do you take the painting with you, or do you leave it with Hisoka and Hayato?
I leave it.
So, about an hour and a half to 2 hours after. Actually, no, you did some painting, so it would have been a good 5 hours after Hinata and Akane got back to the ship. You see Hisoka and Hayato walking down the pier, carrying a large painting.
Akane's like on top of a pile of boxes that have just been recently stacked. She's like sitting on top of it while they're getting like the ones that have already been moved out of the way, maneuvered around, and she just kind of hops off. Any luck?
We have a paint.
Possibly.
Those two sentences don't seem to agree.
Can I make an appraisal roll on the painting of some sort?
Sure. Let's see. What would that be? There's probably a merchant skill.
It's like
Craft or
commerce.
There's an artist.
okay.
Like
There's an
Doesn't
artisan
matter.
skill.
I'm not smart and I'm not trained, but
There is actually no. It would actually no. An art. Yeah, it would be artisan. It would be artisan. That's right. It's in the high skills.
Yeah.
oh.
That one's
that's
an awareness.
Slightly better. No, it's not. 25. 23, sorry.
It's a very nice and probably super expensive painting.
Well, certainly acquired.
Yes, we did.
Might I assume that wait, Yase is me. Kakita-san is is taking advantage of being in her homeland?
I don't know if that would be the correct phrasing for it. But yes, Kakita-san is off spending some time until we are ready to leave on her own.
Okay.
Well, you load the painting up onto the ship. Idri, where are you
Yes.
going? What are you looking for?
So I have no money. And
All right, you didn't take any of the money.
I don't have any money. And I've been homesick. I am going window shopping,
Okay.
looking longingly at everything.
All right. You see lots of beautiful glass-blown figures, lots of beautiful carved wooden accessories and stylings, lots of beautiful flower arrangements, lots of various crafts and arts, and all of it beautiful and handcrafted and pretty and just, yeah. Money.
Yep.
It's the bestest.
It is. And then, depending on how much time I have, there aren't other training schools in this area besides the one we went to.
For the Kakita Bushi? No, just the one.
Yeah. Okay. Are there any other of different schools?
Yeah, there are the various other schools of the crane there as well.
Mm-hmm.
None of them are Bushi, though.
No.
I don't think. Let me double check that, but yeah, no. There's Asahina Shugenja School. There is the Doji Courtier School, and there is the there actually is one other Bushi. It's the Daidoji Iron Warriors, but they're more crab-like than crane-like.
Yeah.
They are the crab-like crane.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They're the ones that they're the ones that marry into the crab clan.
Yeah, they're the crane members that the crab don't hate.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. Can't really go back to the same place. Yeah, I just wander around, and eventually I probably make my way back to some sort of a shrine or a temple just to sit and think, because stuff happens.
So the pagoda.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you sit around all this beautiful art, some of which you recognize as being your cousins.
Are there any other?
There are other floors.
Yeah, I go to one of those.
Yeah, you go to one of the floors that doesn't have any of your cousins' art in it.
Yeah. And I sit there a while until it's about time for me to head back.
All right. So as night approaches, is there anything the rest of you are doing?
Yeah, Hayato is going to try and see if he can find Hinata.
She's probably decently easy to find. She may have gone back to the sort of quarters that we have here, or on the ship, but if he's looking, he'll find her.
Okay. And he'll simply, probably just knock on her door and see if she's in, if she's...
She'll open the door. There's probably some... I have it. So there's some parchment and ink that seem to be out. A half-written letter that seems to be crumpled to the side. And she... again, Yase, it's me. Takano-san, what can I do for you? Please come in.
Oh, thank you. I wish to ask, given what we have retrieved from the water, and that we will be attempting to reclaim an item with a storied history of your clan, will you need training in using them?
I have some limited competence with certain forms of weapons, but blades, I haven't had much opportunity. I've been... That's a no.
Of course. Should you feel the need, then I'm certain any of us would be more than willing to share what we know from our various experiences in order to help you find whatever philosophy of weaponry most appeals to you and will be of most use. But I wish to at least speak to the topic rather than making the assumption that you had chosen already.
She'll sort of look to the sword, which is probably like, if I have a sword rack there or somewhere, this wherever you store weapons. These are weapons blessed by the kami. She'll sort of actually just pull out the blade.
Shing.
I can understand that they expect how a cut should be handled, but I am not familiar. It is all I can do to follow along. So.
Of course. My initial inclination is that Ren-sama would likely be forthright, direct in their approach to instruction, and her handling of the blade is in keeping with that philosophy. Kisaki-sama and Kakita-sama have similar but slightly divergent perspectives, both fighting not simply with the arm but with the mind as well. As for myself, I simply do what is most pragmatic at the time. But for what it's worth, whichever you feel is most harmonious with your own being, I would advise that that is the teacher you should seek. But I have taken up enough of your valuable time. Excuse me. And he turns and just whoosh. He's halfway out the door and he stops and looks over his shoulder. Yes.
I would greatly appreciate your help if you would be willing to take the time out of your busy responsibilities, making sure my fiance does not prematurely fall upon his sword.
I will do whatever I can to prevent that eventuality.
Good luck with that.
Very well. Whenever you have time,
Of course.
I will ensure that I will make myself available.
And scene.
Yep. And Hayato goes off to find a place to practice with his Kusarigama.
You actually, over the course of the past few days, you found that a few of the Mantis clan use it as well. Mm-hmm. So you end up basically practicing with them. They use theirs for like very super advanced spearfishing.
Right.
You notice that like some of them get it going at a good speed and then slice the Kusarigama, the Gama part, the Kama part of the Kusarigama, through the water, and it comes back with a fish on the end. Just
nice. Hook slinging for fish.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So yeah, you end up practicing with them.
I'm busy trying to make sure that I don't Luke Skywalker versus Boba Fett myself at this point, probably.
That I needed those. Yeah, you don't want to actually catch yourself. It would be drastic. So, Idri, by the time you return to the ship, you see Hayato on the pier with a couple other Mantis training with a Kusarigama.
Okay. I come on board.
Point of order. Where did you guys put the painting?
Oh, I left
below
that
deck
with Hisoka.
somewhere.
In
I
Idari's...
need sure to find a place that is clearly
Absolutely
delineated as our
not.
stuff.
Absolutely not in Irie's stuff.
Did you just like hang it on a wall somewhere or what?
I stuffed it somewhere in the back.
All right.
It's still wrapped up.
Fascinating.
With whatever the medieval equivalent of a post-it note saying to the mantis people, this is ours.
Eh.
Minato will make sure that happens.
I hope nobody handed it to Akane and was like, deal with this somehow, because she'd be like, oh, Crane Clan stuff? Oh, I guess Irie wants this. Put it in her room.
No.
No.
It got
Terrible.
stuffed somewhere in the back of the ship.
All right.
Like, unceremoniously just shoved in a corner.
It's a really expensive painting. Come on.
Eh, from a
Hinato will
dick.
actively sneak down later to if I know
I would
she
actually-
did that.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't.
Hisoka isn't good at hiding things, I feel.
Yeah.
Something that
After
felt-
talking to Hayato, Hinato will sneak down below decks to make sure it is properly wrapped up for sea voyage.
It was a very nice, expensive gift that was given as a giant fuck you. Therefore, the value of the gift doesn't matter.
That's fine.
That's
Yeah,
why
you
it's been
make sure
shoved
it's nice
back
and
in the
wrapped up.
corner.
Mhm.
Hisoka likes the people that he's with.
Idari?
Yep, I come on board and I'm being very quiet and not just down. It's not. It's had a bad day.
So you all end up getting a night's rest. Those of you that are
What-
still injured, you recover from your wounds. You recover, what is it, stamina times something?
Stamina times.
I got
2 or
0
4.
wounds. So I'm fine.
Possibly.
Yeah, twice your stamina trait. So it's just twice your stamina trait plus your insight rank.
Ah, yeah, that was it.
So stamina times 2 plus insight rank. You recover that many wounds.
I recovered 10 wounds a night, but I'm already fully healed.
There you go. And the morning comes. And as the morning comes, you feel the ship lurching out of port as it continues up the river.
Oh, good, we're gone.
I go and stand on deck and look after it.
I'm actually going to go
Where
find
are we
Irie.
stopping next?
So, Idari is up on deck. Hisoka?
Yeah.
Easy enough to find.
Feeling. I imagine you feel a mixture of emotion right now.
Yes.
More relief or more happiness?
Neither.
Really? I'm curious.
Disappointment that did not go as well as I had hoped it would. I'll come back here someday. And I will prove them wrong.
I look forward to being there when you do.
I just keep
I'll leave
looking
her to
out.
watch the show.
Yeah.
I'll leave her to watch the as we go.
So, as Aaron asked previously, where to next?
Are we stopping by the Are we stopping by the lion, or are we going straight for the unicorn?
I feel like
Actually, so there are 2 lions. Do I know,
Oh, yeah,
there's
2 lions.
being lion, which of those, if either, I might have like family or acquaintances or
So the two
would be relevant for what we're looking for?
the 2 stops of the lion are basically the opposite sides of their territory.
There's 3 of them.
Technically the line continues on for almost the rest of the entire journey because you can get there by
Right.
touching down on one side of the river.
Okay, let me rephrase my question then. Of the places we could stop for lion,
Yeah.
do you have an idea where I might have family? If my family is either along the river or has some representatives along the river.
Your family in particular would be on the northern side of the territory, which would be the section of the river closer to the Dragon Clan.
Okay. Where might be important or relevant to stop given our goals with the lion? Get the
sort of the daimyo of the Lion Clan. They're situated along this section of the river that you're about to pass.
Okay. And remind me what the situation was with the Lion Clan sword.
It is rumored to have been lost on the battlefield that the Tortoise Clan castle now sits at, which is north of the Lion Clan territories, past where you're going to have to turn away from the unicorn.
So that would be the tortoise that's between lion and lion.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay. We don't need to stop for lion right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, it's obviously not actually my decision, but that's what Hinata will put forth.
Yeah.
Hayato would agree and say might be best to hold off on stopping at lion until we have the blade.
The Lion Clan territory basically stretches. So the crane is along the coast. The Lion Clan territory is right next door, and then stretches up to the fork in the river that is opposite where the unicorn are, and then comes back around until just south of the valley, where the Lion, Dragon, and Phoenix clan sort of intersect.
Gotcha.
So it's this large chunk of land. Which would then leave you with going up to the unicorn next, I'm assuming?
Yes.
So, a full day on the river, heading north, upriver. Upriver. It's a bit slower going, heading back this way than it was previous, because you were going with the current, as opposed to now you're going against the current. But you're still able to make good time. The Mantis are expert sailors. They know how to maneuver up the currents. And after about another day of sailing, you find yourself approaching the fork in the river, where going right would take you back to the Dragon Clan, and continuing on straight would take you up to the unicorn. At that point, the captain sort of comes out and sort of to Hisoka. Right, so do you want to sail straight into land, or do you want to stop and approach on foot?
What would be your recommendation?
Well, it depends on what you want to do. Getting into there is fairly easy by boat, but that's going to put you in one of their merchant cities, which may or may not be the people you want to talk to. To go a little bit further up the river, I can stop you on the land just east of one of their more militant cities, which you could get into on foot. Take a little bit longer, but you'll definitely find your warriors there rather than your merchants.
That seems to be the better option then.
Right. Well, probably take you about another half a day up the river. And then on foot, it'll probably be another half a day to their town. We'll probably scoot on up the river to the next port town and see if we can't offload some more stuff, and then swing back by in about a day and a half. So noon the day after.
Sounds acceptable.
All right. We'll keep an eye out for you by the river. Be sure to be there, or we won't be able to stop.
Thank you.
And so, about an extra half a day's ride, you sail past the port town. You see the Unicorn Port. The Unicorn buildings are, again, very different from what you're all used to. They're more squat and sturdy stone buildings rather than these wood and rice and mud that you're used to previously. They're definitely Gaijin style of construction.
So like a Cape Cod or maybe
No,
I mean,
more
what
like
I
more like
gets out of that is these will stand up on the wall.
more like a Penzance, really.
right.
But eventually, the ship slows down enough that a rope ladder can be dropped into the water, but near to the side.
Cool.
Suzume
Minato,
scrambles
go.
down.
Mm-hmm.
Arashi gathers his things and looks at Irie. Do you want us to leave the painting on the ship?
Yes.
Okay,
There's no need to bring it with.
Etiquette roll or something.
sure.
Yeah, same.
Like,
I don't know. I might make one. Just curious.
25.
I mean, it would be very rude to misplace a gift, especially a expensive one.
Especially when the person who,
22.
Sorry, wrong row.
Yeah.
13.
Yeah,
especially when
No.
the person who gave you the gift might show up as an ally later on down the line.
yeah. No, these are all reasons that all of you would know. It is very
Nah.
impolite to misplace a gift.
You're not
Fair,
telling
keeping
me
it on
what
the
that
ship.
means.
Keeping it on the ship is not misplacing it; it's keeping it safe.
I mean, that means it's impolite to misplace a gift. That's the meaning of that statement.
Right.
It is rude. It is not polite. It is not nice. That's what that means.
I think the question is whether leaving it or taking it implies misplacing it.
Leaving it behind could very well imply misplacing it.
If we don't catch the ship.
But if we get back to the ship, it's fine.
Yeah.
There's every intent to get back to the ship, so Hisoka has no problems leaving that piece of shit there. Damn it, he made us stand on something for one reason.
The question is
You would
whether or
do
not the question.
Hinata's gonna go grab it.
Yeah, the question becomes whether or not you believe you'll be able to 100% guarantee you will get back to the ship.
Hinata's gonna go grab it once that is brought up.
Oh. Okay. I guess we're bringing it.
All right, Arashi will offer to carry it down.
No, I
Thank
can
you.
carry it.
Arashi picks it up, shoulders it, and then jumps off the side of the ship.
He's taller than I am.
It would
so
be
I'm gonna let him
unfortunate
do that.
if he were to slip while he was jumping off the ship
Do you
and do a
try?
header into the water.
Do you try to make him slip?
No.
Then he doesn't slip.
Yeah.
No,
It-
I'll let him carry it.
He just sort of lands on the shore with a slight grunt, and then straightens up and waits for the rest of you. You all climb
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Once you're all on the shore, the
Hayato
ladder.
does not climb down. He swings off with a rope.
Akane climbs down until she feels like it would be okay and not painful to drop, and then she just lets go and drops.
And once you're all on the shore, the ladder back up, the sails unfurl, and the ship takes off. You get a couple of waves goodbye, but primarily they're busy doing their work. So
Yep. Yep.
All right,
Okay.
let's get walking. Maybe
Yes.
maybe they'll find us on horseback, and we can get a faster ride to the citadel.
Does anyone know anything about these people?
A little bit.
I
Do I
have
know
spent
anything
quite
about
a
these people?
Does say how much do Hinata and I know about the unicorn?
Well, Hinata was about to say something, but those of you that want to know what you know, could give me a lore unicorn roll.
I've spent quite a bit of time with them. So yes,
Pretty good, actually.
Just be nice. Please don't. They're very good people, even if they are occasional. They occasionally have different things they value.
Let's see. We have 12,
How did I get the best
16,
roll?
14, 13.
My particular question is: the Crab Clan are very good friends with the unicorn. Would I at least know how they like their greeting?
So, for all the what you guys would know to start off with, for all the differences, the great clans of Rokugan are united in one primary regard, which is that they look at the Unicorn Clan as outsiders and basically barbarians. It's not.
That is how my clan feels.
That's how most clans feel. Like there are variations within that as to whether or not that is a good or bad thing, but that is the general look at them. Primarily because they spent much of their history absent from the Empire. During the first days of Rokugan, the Lady Shinjo, who ruled over the lands, petitioned her brother to for the right to. The Lady Shinjo petitioned her brother, who is the Emperor backwards, for the rights to explore the world beyond the Empire, in order to ensure no new threats might come from there. And for about 8 centuries, they were gone before they finally returned as the Unicorn Clan. They have adopted numerous customs from foreign lands, including bringing back Gaijin, or non-natives, with them. And they sort of they embrace they don't care a whole lot about how the other clans view them in large. They embrace their unique and diverse culture in spite of the xenophobic outlook that much of the Empire gives them. They have a zest for life and are very compassionate, and but they are particularly proud of their cavalry, which is unique because they have a lot of Gaijin breeds of horses that tend to be much larger, sturdier, and stronger than the Rokugani horses. They have Clydesdales, for instance.
Heavy cav.
They are, they're they're a very curious clan. They like to wander and explore, and they're the kind of people that always look at the horizon and wonder what's beyond it, which is a lot of the reason why they left for 9 centuries. Their ideas are strange to a lot of Rokugan, but they have earned a modicum of respect, if not in a political sphere. In the political sphere, they have very little respect or power. But on a personal level, people have various different opinions on them and their strength, especially the crab. Like, the crabs see them as warriors, but politically they're still outsiders. They're the equivalent of like how a samurai might view a European knight. Like, certainly I can tell this is a warrior and somebody who may deserve my respect on the battlefield, but off the battlefield, they're heathens or barbarians or savages. They're not sophisticated, even to what the Crab Clan thinks sophistication is.
I mean, there are brothers in arms.
Yeah.
Basically what most of the common crab think.
Yeah. And that's pretty much it. Like,
That doesn't mean you've ever met them.
yeah.
You may have,
But they are the closest thing that the crab have to real allies.
Well, of the major clans.
Yeah, of the major clans.
Yeah,
Which is why I asked if I would know if they have like a special a greeting that is not standard Rokugani.
Of the clans, they don't really have a different greeting. It's not their greetings that are the sticking point, we'll say. You know how to greet them in so much as you know how to greet any clan, any other clan.
Yeah.
Basically, I'm wondering if they go for handshakes instead of bows.
No, they still bow. They do have handshakes, but to the same level that other clans have handshakes.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not their primary greeting.
So,
so-
go ahead.
So, you begin to approach from the river. Your motley crew walking. Suzume, Arashi carrying the painting on one shoulder and Suzume on the other.
Hayato's got his Kusarigama wrapped around him, and he's carrying his bow and his quiver on his shoulder. The rest of his weapons are either in his pack or sort of stashed behind him.
Do you have it wrapped around you in the mantis style, or do you have it on your belt, which is the normal style?
He's got it wrapped around him mantis style because he's trying to put forth the, hi, I'm more mantis than probably anything else that you'd be expecting.
The mantis style, for those of you that are curious, and for Hayato, who would know this, basically, rather than looping the Kusarigama like a whip and putting it on their belt, which is sort of the standard way to hold it, they actually have the kama in their sash and then the chain wrapped around their waist and then up and down one arm. So that they can drop the weight out of their sleeve anytime and use it before drawing the whole weapon.
Right. Should I make an acting roll? Since I'm trying to pass myself off as more mantis?
Sure. Give me a
Okay.
mantis acting roll. An acting mantis roll. All right.
22.
Yeah, you're pretty good. You've had a while to acclimate, so you're full on mantis right now.
All right.
As you approach, you see another one of these things. So it's very much, their structures are very much Japanese style architecture built with European materials, which is a strange combination from either perspective. Where there would be wood and rice paper, there is stone and wood, and glass where there would just be openings. And a wall that is made of stone surrounding the thing, and you see a herd of horses off to the south. And as you approach, you see a group of horseback riders approaching you.
Hinata, looks like this is probably going to be you and me.
Of course. Yeah. Greet them. If they seem like they're coming this way, I'm not going to try and inconvenience them too much.
Oh yeah, no, they're heading directly towards
Yeah.
you.
Greet. He said. Yeah, greet them as they
Okay.
come by.
So, yeah, this group of 5 cavalry riders approach and then rear the horses as they sort of surround you. And the lead rider, they wear this, all of the riders wear this purple armor. Very similar, it's just sort of the standard, the word escapes me.
Shigaru?
Combat armor. It's heavy armor, but it's, I'm trying to think of the actual terminology.
Chainmail.
No, it's not chainmail. It's the same kind of armor that samurai wear. I'm just trying to think of the terminology for it. It's escaping me. Regardless, that kind of armor, but purple with black hakama underneath and purple boots with sort of fur line on their gloves, sort of a white fur line on their gloves and boots. The one in particular, female, leading the charge with a strange-looking weapon sort of on her hip. It looks like a katana, but the bend is wrong, and the blade is too wide. Akana, you would recognize this as a scimitar. They sort of ride up, rear their horses, and look down at you. Halt! I am Mota Mitsuo of this town, leader of the cavalry here. What is your purpose?
I am Yase Hinata. This is my fiance, Kisaki Hisoka. enumerate off the introduction. We here hoping to seek allies for the Kisaki family in a matter of social situations. Sorry, Hinata doesn't like have a little bit of a breakdown. We're here hoping to make peace and speak about a possible alliance to a threat of the Shadowlands. You're looking at me like I didn't finish my sentence, but I did.
Yeah.
No, I was waiting to see if that was the end of your sentence. She looks down at you. Well, you've picked an interesting time to come to Shinooka. We'll have to
Something
take
wrong?
you back. Yes.
Maybe
not
we can
be-
help then.
Well, whatever instance of Shadowland affliction you're dealing with is not the only one plaguing these lands. And on that note, we're going
Grip
to
the sword real tight.
Yeah.
say goodbye, everybody.
Hayato perks up.
Bye. Bye, everybody.
Goodbye.